Hey, camera's rolling, guys. Good morning, guys. Happy blessed Saturday. Happy weekends to everybody. Thank you for joining me in Poetry Corner, where we're going back to Greycliff for the Lighthouse Keeper's Tale. And it's a love romance thing between Lorna and Davy Snow. So if you remember in the last chapter, Lorna had a fiance, turns up out of the blue on Davy Snow's lighthouse door and complicates things. So let's see how we get on now. Let's read on, guys. Edward Mallory did not speak at first. He stood in the lighthouse entry door like a dark figure carved from grief, the wind pressing at his back, his gloves clenched tightly in one hand. His eyes drifted from Lorna's face to her fingers entwined with Davy's and back again. When he finally spoke, his voice was controlled but threaded with pain. "Lorna, why?" Her lips parted but no words came out. Edward stepped closer, his boots echoing softly on the worn stone. "Why did you leave without a letter, without a word? I woke one morning to find your ring left on the table and you had gone like smoke." Lorna's eyes grew glossy. She did not release David's hand. "Edward," she says, "because I knew that if I looked into your eyes I would be persuaded to stay in a life that was not mine." Edward stiffened, wounded. "A life of comfort, a life of security, a life I built for you." Davy said nothing. This was not his moment to speak. He stood beside her, as steady as the lighthouse itself, but silent as its stone walls. Lorna shook her head gently. "A life where every choice was made for me, a life where my dreams were too small, my heart too loud. You love me, yes, but you love me as something fragile, a glass figure kept on a shelf." Edward's jaws tightened. "No, I loved you as my future." "And I," she whispered, "I could not see my own future from inside yours." A tremor ran through Edward's composure. His voice rose, not in anger but in desperation. "Lorna, I searched off the coast for you, and when the search failed I feared you dead. Did you understand that? Did you understand that what is it to mourn someone still breathing?" Her breath caught. David felt her fingers grip his own. "I'm sorry," she whispered, "for the pain I caused, for the silence, for disappearing, but I could not marry a man I did not love." Edward flinched as though struck. His voice dropped to a fragile hush. "There is another reason, isn't there?" Lorna hesitated. David's heart pounded, fearing her answer, even though it was already written in every glance she gave him. Edward looked between them, sorrow settling into certainty. "You love him." She did not step away from Davy. She did not lower her gaze. "Yes," she said, a simple word, but it carried the weight of a tide turning. Edward let out a breath that trembled in his chest. He lifted his hands to his forehead, steadying himself as though the very ground shifted underneath him. "For how long?" he asked. "For as long as I have known him," Lorna answered honestly, "though at first I did not understand what it meant." Edward nodded slowly, wounded but trying to be dignified. "And he loves you?" David finally spoke, voice steady. "I do." The admission echoed faintly through the lighthouse. Edward swallowed hard. He looked at Davy, not with hatred but with the aching resignation of a man losing something he once believed was promised to him. "She once belonged to my world," he said quietly. "Now she belongs to yours." Lorna stepped forward, voice gentle as a tide, smoothing sand. "I do not belong to anyone. My heart knows where it is at peace." Edward closed his eyes. A single tear formed but did not fall. When he opened them, resignation had settled behind the sorrow. "I came seeking closure," he murmured. "Perhaps I have found it, even if it is bitter." He drew in a long breath, steadier than this time. "I only wish you had told me yourself. I would have freed you from any promise, if it meant your happiness." Lorna trembled. I feared hurting you." You did, Edward answered, but truthfully you would have hurt me regardless, for I love you too deeply not to be wounded by losing you. A silence drifted between them, heavy but strangely peaceful. Edward finally straightened his coat. I will leave tomorrow at first light. I have no more right to stay. He paused at the threshold, one last question lingering on his voice. Will you be safe here, Lorna? She turned to Davy, who stood like a promise beside her. Yes, she whispered, I will. Edward nodded. He stepped out in the cold wind, a lone figure walking back towards the village, towards a life that no longer held her. When he was gone, Lorna leaned into David's chest, breath trembling with relief and sorrow. I never wanted to hurt him, she murmured. David kissed the top of her hair. I know. And I never wanted to lose you, she added, voice breaking. You won't, he whispered, not while I breathe. Outside, the sea surged softly. The past had demanded its answer and had been truth, answered with truth. But truth as a way of echoing, and its echoes would soon reach every corner of the village. There we go, guys. Looks like Davy's going to keep hold of Lorna. The rival has accepted defeat. So join me, chapter 14, next, after the confession. But we're going to hold that back till Monday, guys. Monday morning. Monday morning for Davy and Lorna and the lighthouse. We're going to have it on Monday because tomorrow is Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. And we're going to have a spiritual story with a moral to it in place of that. So we'll give Davy and Lorna a chance to take their breath, catch their breath, and regain their composure for Monday morning. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, join me tonight for Topsy Tickletown. We will be going to Topsy Tickletown. This is part 7. And I've got to be careful how I say this, guys. And the title is The Gloom Pluckers Arrive. The Gloom Pluckers Arrive. So let's go and see what the Gloom Pluckers are up to with Topsy Tickletown. What do they want? So join me tonight, guys, for that. And in the meantime, have a very lovely, peaceful weekend. Enjoy your Saturday. Some may be working, but some will be at rest. So whatever you're doing, take care. God bless us all, guys, and stay safe. So join me tonight for Topsy Tickletown, chapter 7, part 7 rather. The Gloom Pluckers Arrive. So beware of the Gloom Pluckers. Okay, guys, take care now. And after I said that, I can have some coffee now, guys. It's not easy, you know, to say it's Gloom Pluckers before coffee, and it's Topsy Tickletown before coffee too. So there we go, guys. Have a lovely day, and God bless you all. Thank you for joining me in Poetry Corner. I enjoy relating the stories, so I hope you enjoy listening to them. So there you go, guys. Bye bye now.